I'm Jessi, and I'm doing a persuasive speech over putting softball back into the Olympics. Okay. On July 8th, in 2005, the International Olympic Committee voted to eliminate softball from the Olympic Games. Although the committee did not have many supported reasons, they claimed that softball is not as widely played in all the countries, and that the USA dominated in the Olympic Games. This is a decision that frustrated and disappointed softball players all over the world. We did not agree with the decision and did not feel that the reason to make the decision was validated. I felt personally affected by the decision, not only because I love watching softball in the Olympics, but because I would have loved the opportunity to represent the United States of America in the Olympic Games. The IOC claims that Olympic softball was dominated by the USA since the entry of the sport in 1996. While the USA won the gold medal in 1996, 2000, and 2004, Japan took gold in 2008. USA first baseman Crystal Bustos says, "I don't mean to cut anybody down, but it is supposed to be the best of the best, and if you get knocked down for your excellence, then that's just not right." I agree with this statement because the USA is almost being punished for their hard work and dedication that they put into the sport. It's not the USA's fault that the other countries aren't making softball a priority or choosing to focus on other sports. Every sport has a team that is the one to beat, and for softball, that just so happens to be the United States. Plus, certain teams get on a winning streak, and that may have been the case here. There are several instances where the team won the Super Bowl or the World Series 2 times in a row, but nobody ever considered that reason to eliminate the competition altogether. I feel like softball has been treated differently, and it's unfair. Softball is in a state right now where the sport is growing rapidly. USA pitcher Jenny Finch says, "It's devastating and heartbreaking because the sport is at an all-time high right now. This means that more young girls are picking up the sport, but they are also discouraged because they know that they can't go as far with the sport as they want to. Or they can't go as far in softball as they could in basketball or swimming." In a recent study, it was discovered that 126 countries participated in the sport of softball. While these countries may not have an Olympic team yet, they are still developing as softball players and forming a team for the future. If softball were in the Olympics, I'm sure many of these countries would want to participate. Or maybe companies or organizations in those countries would be more willing to put money into softball in order to see their country compete in the Olympics. Just because every country in the Olympic Games does not participate in softball does not mean that you have to cut the sport. There are a lot of other sports that the Team USA doesn't participate in, so why are we being punished for promoting softball? If softball was in the Olympics, it might recruit some other girls to play that otherwise might not have considered it. There are thousands of girls all over the world that are looking for a sport that is right for them, and they may not have even considered softball. With the publicity it would get by being in the Olympic Games, one of those little girls just might be the next gold medal pitcher. Another point that many people think about is, what is the point of collegiate softball? In other sports, collegiate players are still training for the Olympics or to become professionals in their sport. But in softball, we don't have that opportunity. We play all of our lives to prepare to be the best and to get to the highest level possible. Well, the best players in softball are in the Olympics. Girls who play softball growing up spend a great amount of their time in tournaments and at practices to get better and reach their potential. But what does this amount to if we don't have the opportunity to get to play in the Olympics? For some of us, it has been very discouraging to watch softball being taken out of the Olympics. I grew up wanting to play softball in the Olympics and working toward that goal. When they took it out, I was discouraged and felt like my goal had been taken away from me. I know many of my teammates feel the same way. I also know that I would have put a lot more time and effort into the sport if I had been given the opportunity to represent my country in the Olympics. But since the opportunity was never an option, I lowered my goals. I could only ever train to play softball in college. While that is still a lofty goal and quite an accomplishment, it is not the same as playing in the Olympics. I would would love to see softball be put back into the Olympic Games sometime during my lifetime. I would certainly love to be able to see my niece work toward a goal that I could never reach. By playing in the Olympics, girls around the world would have opportunities that they never could have imagined. There are thousands of girls all over the world who go to sleep with a ball and glove every night after practicing for hours and hours, just hoping and dreaming of putting on a jersey in their country's colors. By putting softball back into the Olympics, countries would support the dreams of girls across the world. Any questions?